Seriously, I forgot why I fucking love this so much. And seeing this, this episode is why I love Sidonia. Oh, okay, so here's the thing. I remember a long time ago when I was watching Season 1, and I said I wasn't going to read the manga because Season 2 was announced right at the end of the anime. At the end of Season 1, Season 2 was announced, and so I remember I stated, like, okay, so I want to, wait for Season 2 of Sidonia to come out before I read the manga. And Season 2 is here, I'm just so glad, but if we don't get a Season 3 announcement, I'm probably going to read the manga, because this series, man, is just, this is what Attack on Titan should be. Like, seriously, honestly, this is what Attack on Titan should be. And I know some don't like comparisons, it's just my personal opinion. Don't get pissed off, it's just my personal opinion. Just, this right here, Sidonia, is just so great. Even with the CGI, like, some of the CGI fights just look so damn good. Like, when it comes to the fight sequences, especially at the beginning of this episode, that CGI looks so kick-ass. It looks so fucking kick-ass when you see these fight sequences going on with the CGI. Now, I know the only thing that people really do complain about is when it comes to the CGI and frames and stuff. But personally, it doesn't really bug me, because Sidonia, it wouldn't be Sidonia without the CGI. It wouldn't. And getting to see these characters the way they look, I've grown quite attached to them. Now, with this episode of Sidonia, a lot of plot progression moving forward, and the ending alone is just a massive troll to all of us watching this anime and waiting for the next episode, because I got so much hype right now. Like, I sat down and watched this episode, got some coffee, and it ended. To me, it felt like only 3 to 4 minutes. It was kind of like the same feeling I got when I sat down and watched an episode of Parasite. That's how this episode felt towards me. When I was just sitting down watching this episode of Sidonia, it felt way too damn quick. Like, I sat down, okay, I'm not joking with you. I sat down, started the episode and all that, watched the opening and all that, and I was drinking some coffee, and then all of a sudden, as time passed by, I looked at the timer on the video. It said like 18 minutes in. I'm like, what the fuck? How did I watch 18 minutes without even realizing? It did not feel like 18 minutes. That's just how damn good this story is to me and how I get dragged into the series. And so, with this episode, Ochi, the scientist that has, kind of been cast aside as a traitor or whatever he's done in the past, he is back in full motion, and you have to where Kobayashi is also helping Ochi out. Now, I don't know if, Kobayashi knows that Kunato is Ochi at the moment, but whatever it is, at the end of the episode, a lot of things building up, because the old guys, or, all the old people that are controlling the main, I guess, politics of Sidonia, got fucking wrecked at the end of the episode. Like, their heads got shot in by this clone of Ochi, and I'm like, bro, they got fucking wrecked. Like, their faces went in. You saw, like, these holes pop up over them. Like, you see these people in mid-dialogue. They're just trying to, backhand Ochiai's clone, and all of a sudden you just see a hole pop up in their head, and they just see blood splatter all over the place. That right there, holy shit, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, I'm loving this series once again. I'm falling in love, and getting to see the new introduction of this Chimera, Ghana, and Human. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like something very bad is going to happen in the future with this. It's very obvious, especially with, Ochi and his, research and how he is, and what we saw in the last episode. I'm going to assume something very bad is going to happen in the future when it comes to chimeras. Now, this specific chimera, Sugumi, that was introduced in this episode, or kind of introduced in the last episode, or you can kind of factor in that Sugumi was kind of introduced in the first season, since this Sugumi Ghana Chimera is, in fact, Hoshijiro's Ghana, from what I can assume, because the voice actor is the same. Still, the point is that I highly doubt Sugumi is going to really turn into a villain. Like, from my perspective, Sugumi is eventually going to probably get away from Kunato. Ochi that's currently in his body. I feel like Sugumi's eventually just going to get away from him, and I guess she's eventually going to become the person that our main male character Nagate gets inside and rides. Like, how he has, the Sugimori, I think that's how they pronounce it? The mech or whatever that Nagate rides. I think I got the name right. But anyways, I feel like that his mech is going to eventually get destroyed, and eventually he's probably going to have to pilot this Chimera Ghana Sugumi. I sense something like that happening in the future, and if that does happen, the hype right now, the fucking hype, because Sugumi, just the way she was in this episode, like, just, you saw her get bashful and had emotions like a human, and majority of people that were in that meeting with Kunato and watching Sugumi being introduced as a Chimera, she was getting very bashful. Like, you just saw, like, how she's like, oh, I want to talk to Nagate, I want to talk to him and all that, I want to, you know, have a private conversation, and when you saw how she was, like, wagging her fucking tail or whatever, and the entire ship started shaking, and everybody's like, oh my god, you know, they're about to fall over, and that you can get from that scene is that she has human emotions, which is kind of dangerous if she got all embarrassed or bashful like that, because that would mean that it could possibly destroy something in Sidonia, but it shows you she has human emotions. She's not necessarily evil. She's like a girl, a teenage girl. That's what you could assume from this episode. So at the moment, nothing really bad I'm getting from her, besides one specific scene. In the episode, we saw a little bit of a darker personality in Sugumi. In the middle of the fight, at the beginning of the episode, when you see Kunato piloting Sugumi, and they're fighting the Ghana, you see it how Sugumi's like, hey, can I use my full power? Can I use my full power? And I'm like, what? And you see her power up, and she launches straight through this Ghana, this giant-ass fucking Ghana. She launches straight through it and destroys it, and I'm thinking like, whoa, the fuck, dude, the fucking power to do some shit like that. I mean, going through that layer of Ghana like nothing, like fucking nothing. And as it was said in the last week's episode, that Ghana's tissue or whatever was stronger than normal, and to be able to do that type of shit, bro, she made that Ghana look like fucking paper mache. So, yeah, and it's not just that. After that was done, you see Sugumi smile. You see her smile after she wrecks this Ghana, and that introduces us to a twisted personality. Now, I don't know necessarily if she is evil. Maybe it's because she wants to kill the Ghana and protect the human race. Maybe that's why she showed that twisted personality or that smile. But I'm assuming there's something else going on. Slightly a little bit deeper with Sugumi's personality, but who knows. Maybe that's going to be the main deciding factor if Kunato can manipulate Sugumi and turn her evil. Anyways, that's pretty much this episode of Sidonia. A lot of different things setting up here and here all over the place. One thing I do want to mention before I end this review, though, Izana, at the end of the episode, her face she made, priceless as fuck, dude. That face was priceless. When she looked at the tentacles of, you know, Sugumi grabbing Nagate, I mean, she's like, she's freaking, she turned fucking blue, dude. She's just like, oh my god, this is creepy. And the way she was so sick, like, you just saw her wobbling at the end of the episode, that was funny. That straight up was funny. I laughed. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about Sidonia, No Greatness being back? Are you happy to see it here? And how many of you are all anime onlys? Like, I'm curious, how many of you are anime onlys besides manga readers? I mean, I know manga readers are probably going to be watching this too, but how many of you are anime onlys? Because I want to know how anime onlys feel about this series. And manga readers, I want to know how you feel about this anime adaptation. Besides the CGI, which I've seen some complaints when I did my Season 1 reviews, how do you manga readers feel about this anime adaptation? Regardless of the CGI, just how do you feel about the content that is in this? Anyways, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.